So Editing Emma is here. I want to preface this vlog by saying that I had started this originally thinking that it was going to be like a 7 books in 7 days vlog for the last week in October, and that did not turn out. I simply forgot about halfway through, so that's why, I don't know if the tone of the beginning sounds a little bit different. That's why, but it just turned into a normal reading vlog. So anyway, enjoy. Hello everyone, my name is Emma and welcome back to my channel. It is the week of Halloween and I still have a lot of books that I wanted to read in October that I haven't gotten to yet. So let's start with what I'm currently reading right now. I am about a third of the way through Bunny by Mona Awad. I am reading this on my iPad through the Libby app, and I am really loving it so far. It's super weird. It just got like weird. It was kind of situationally weird prior to this point, but now like there are weird experimental things happening and I am really loving it. So definitely want to finish that within like today or tomorrow because I can't stop thinking about it. But the book that I will probably finish first is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I think I'm 91% of the way done listening to this audiobook. I've been reading it for a while because it is like 16 hours long, but we're finally at the end. Again, I have been absolutely loving this. It is a really cute slow burn romance between this girl named Vanessa and this football player Aiden. And the basic premise is that she used to work for him, but she leaves her job for good reason. And then later he shows up on her doorstep basically proposing the idea that they get married so that he can stay in the United States because he's from Canada. So they get married, you know, pretending to be husband and wife basically because they're not in love with each other. Or are they? And that's kind of what the book's about, but it's really cute, so that's probably going to be the first thing I finish. Then we have The Haunting of Gillespie House by Darcy, and this is kind of it's another book in like the companion series of like The Haunting of Blank House. I read The Haunting of Blackwood House earlier this month and I really enjoyed it. It was just like a really fun ghost haunted house time and it really actually did scare me. So I'm hoping this one does as well. I borrowed this from my friend, and this one, I think part of the book is like short stories. So The Haunting of Gillespie House, the actual book part of it, is only this part, which is 130 pages. So definitely think this is doable as well. So I finished The Wall of Winnipeg and Me earlier. Today's still Tuesday, by the way. I really liked it. Was it a little too long at 16 hours? Yes. But I ended up really liking Vanessa and Zach and Aiden, basically everyone. The thing that I thought was kind of weird was there's this side plot of abuse, like an abusive relationship that wasn't related to our main characters or the backstories of our main characters. So it felt a little like thrown in there for the sake of like throwing it in there, if that makes sense. Like it didn't really serve a purpose and it was barely touched on, but it was, and I was like, I don't know the reason or the motivation behind putting it in there like that. So I don't know about that, but I'm gonna give it a 4. I thought it was really fun. I just overall had a really good time reading it and it ended really cute, and I think in general, like, I do love a good slow burn. I do. And I think this book has made me discover that about myself. Like the Brown Sister trilogy, I really like that because of the writing style and the complexity of the characters, but I like the slow burn romance more so than like a more faster paced romance, if that makes sense. I think I'm going to start The Haunting at Gillespie House because it should be like a pretty simple, fun time. And yeah, I don't know if I'll update again tonight, probably not, but I will check in with you in the morning with my thoughts on Gillespie House. Hello. Today is Wednesday. I last night decided to start reading The Haunting. So last night I decided to start reading The Haunting of Gillespie House. I'm on page 54 out of 153. So I have about 99 pages left, and this just goes really fast. So I'm guessing it'll take me like a little over an hour to finish it. So I'm really excited to read this tonight and finish this tonight. This premise is reminding me a lot of The Turn of the Screw by Henry James or The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, in the sense that we have a house sitter who is house sitting for this like creepy old house while the owners are on this like couples retreat for a month, and she's a very curious person, which is how the spooky things happen, because if it were me and I heard weird things in the middle of the night, I would simply barricade myself in that room and refuse to leave. But this person's like all up on finding out what's making all these noises, and like during the day like going in all these unlocked rooms, because it's like a huge like manor, and going upstairs and like opening these doors, and like there's a bunch of rooms with sheets over the furniture, and she's like looking at all of the furniture, like peeking under every single sheet. There was one scene, I think like, I don't know, around like page 30-ish, that literally gave me chills last night, and I like closed this book and just laid there like recovering, because it was so spoopy. And that's why, like, I'm having the best time reading these types of Darcy Coates books, because they're not literary masterpieces, but they're, like, really fun, quick, scary stories that genuinely do creep me out, and I love it. So, yeah, that's the deal with this one. She keeps, and the chapter's, like, broken up by, like, day 2, day 3, things like that, so I don't think she's gonna make it all the way to day 30. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it so far. So I'm going to read some more of this tonight, and I will let you know my thoughts when I finish it. Car cam. I just got a book in the mail. Another book I ordered from Depop for significantly less than I would pay for it elsewhere. Alright, I got the X Hex by Erin Sterling. I just keep hearing good things about this book. It is a spooky romance, and that's all I really know. I know it's like fluffy, like there's witches obviously, and it's supposed to be like the perfect October romance book. So I'm very excited. I have been having an obsession with getting Book of the Month copies of things. So anyway, that's what this is. It was actually October's Book of the Month pick. So I don't know why. I feel like whoever I bought this from must have gotten it and then hated it and immediately got rid of it. But anyway, I hope I like it. I've heard good things. The font is ginormous. I don't know if you can tell. It's so big. If I don't read it this month, I'm definitely going to read it in November. But it obviously would be cool to read it in October. So maybe if I have the time, I'll add this to this vlog. And this book's like 300 pages. So it's a possibility. I had started the audiobook through Libby, and I could not deal with the narrator's voice. Like, their voice was so annoying to me. So I'm really glad I got a physical copy, because that narrator was not it. Hello. It is Saturday, and this is my post-Halloween party look. Got some eyeliner under my eyes still, but yes, me and two of my closest friends went as the Sanderson sisters for Halloween, so I will put in a couple pictures here. And it was super fun. But anyway, yesterday as I was like getting stuff ready for the party and everything, I listened to The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and I think I'm gonna give it a 2. I feel like I read it in high school,
but I didn't really remember anything about it. Like, when I think of Sleepy Hollow, I always just think of the Tim Burton movie. It was a time, definitely a product of its time with the racial slurs, and it was only really like the last, I mean, it's a short book. Like, the audiobook I think was like an hour and 20 minutes, but really only the last 20 minutes had anything to do with like the Headless Horseman and like the really cool, creepy stuff that you think of when you think of Sleepy Hollow. So I think I'm gonna give it a 2. But I also started listening to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde yesterday, which I've never read, and that's only like a 3-hour audiobook, and I'm really liking it so far. I'm barely in. I think I'm on like chapter 2, but I'm already really, really liking it. I don't know much about that story. I just know like the concept of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but like plot-wise, I don't know a thing. I have some like cleaning up to do and stuff from the party, so I am going to listen to that while I do that, and I think I might even finish it today because I am listening to it on like double speed, so I'll keep you posted. That's where we're at. I can't believe tomorrow's Halloween. October went by so fast. October is my favorite month, and it always goes by so fast. But yeah, I'm gonna go clean and listen to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Hello. It is much later now. It's 8:19. I'm back in my pajamas. It looks like I never got out of them, but I did. I am gonna have a chill night of reading. So I think what I'm gonna do first is finish The Haunting of Gillespie House, because I think I literally have like 40 pages left. So I am almost done, and then we'll decide from there. Hello. I have my like LED color changing lights on right now. So that's why it's blue-green, and I'm kind of too lazy to change it. But I just finished The Haunting of Gillespie House, and I was kind of disappointed by it. I think I'm going to give it a 2. The Haunting of Blackwood House wasn't a literary masterpiece by any means, but it had more going on and more going for it, I think, than this one did. Not to mention, the main character in this was really annoying, and I just, like, disagreed with a lot of things that she did and decisions she made, and it was all just, like, very convenient. Like, there were things that happened that seemed so, like, illogical and really convenient for the sake of the plot, and then they'd be, like, called out in that same scene where like our character fell off of like this 8-foot concrete like stair, and it's like, how did she not break something? Like, she fell off because she thought there was a step below it, so it's not like she could prepare herself in any way to fall off of this thing, and it's like she didn't break anything. And then like she thinks to herself, oh, I'm so like, it's so convenient I didn't break anything. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It truly is. And then, I don't know, the ending just, like, kind of wrapped up, like, in a super nice, neat little bow. And I think the other one did too, kind of, but it just, I don't know. This one, there's just something going on with this one. I don't know. So, anyway, I'm gonna give it a 2. There are quite a few, like, short stories in this, because the actual Gillespie House story is only half of this book. So I think at some other point soon here I will read the short stories.
So audiobook wise, I am currently listening to Have and to Hoax by Martha Waters. This was recommended to me by one of my friends. Well, there's 2 books out right now in the companion series, and she said that she really, really loves the second one, but like the first one was still worthwhile. So I went in with like a little bit lower expectations, just because I recently read the Brown Sister trilogy, and I recently read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, and they were both just like such a good time that I'm like, surely this isn't gonna top that. And this one's just okay. I'm just honestly kind of annoyed with both characters. I think they're both really childish and dumb. So I'm not very invested in their story or like their romance by any means, but it's entertaining. And like the audiobook, the people who are reading it, they have a different narrator for James and Violet, I think her name is, and they're very like over the top, like almost, I don't know if they're fake British, but like the accent is just very over the top, like satirical kind of British accent, which makes it really fun. So anyway, it's basically about this couple who gets married like really, really soon after they meet, and they have a decent marriage for like a year, but then there's like this big argument they had that I'm 39% of the way through the book right now, and I still don't know what the argument was about. So they're really dragging that out, and I really hope it'll be worthwhile and not like something really lame, because then it's like, why are you creating all this suspense with this? But they had this big argument, and ever since then, like, they barely see each other, they barely talk, but they're still married. And so he gets injured, and one of his friends tells her about it, and she goes to visit him, and by the time she gets there, she's already fine, but she's mad that he didn't tell her directly that he was, like, injured, and so she decides that she's gonna get back at him and get one of her friends to dress up as a doctor and say that she has consumption to make him feel, oh no, my wife, like, is sick, that kind of thing. So they're both kind of shitty people, but it is a really fun premise, so that's what's going on with that. Like I said, I'm 39% of the way through it, and I will be listening to it on my walks and stuff in the next couple days, so I'm sure I will finish it very soon. And then in terms of books I'm already in the middle of that I'm probably gonna finish this week, first we have Bunny by Mona Awad. I am 45% of the way through this. I haven't read it in like a week, I think, but I am really loving it. I don't know why it's taking me so long. I just like have to be in the right headspace because it is really weird, and it takes a lot of like brain power to process it. So I haven't picked it up in a while, but I really want to. I only have 4 days left on my digital hold through Libby, but I have a physical copy from the library that I'm gonna pick up on Saturday, so I might finish it physically, but anyway. Yeah, 45% of the way through Bunny, really loving it. I think it might be a 5-star. So that's kind of what I'm reading at the moment. So if I do finish those two, I think I'm going to pick up Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. This was on my November TBR. As I said in that video, I have been recommended this so many times. I'm sure I'm gonna love it. I just know that in case it does take me longer to read, I want to start it like earlier in November rather than later, so that I can for sure finish it this month. Because I also have like a buddy read I'm planning on doing like mid-November. So yeah. This is a pretty chunky lad. The book is split into 2 parts, it looks like, and the page numbers start over for some reason. If I do some math, I think it's roughly 600 pages. So yeah, I also do have this on audiobook, so I'm not sure if I'm going to listen to it while I read it, or just read it, or like do a little bit of both, like maybe listen to it on my walks and stuff. So we'll see, but I definitely don't want to feel rushed to read this. I just really want to finish it this month. So that's the deal. Like I said before, I have no idea what this is about, and so I'm just kind of gonna go into it and we'll see what happens, but I'm very excited. Hello. I am balancing you on some pumpkins because it is nighttime and the lighting is not good in any room, basically. But today is Sunday night and I have quite a few reading updates to give. Let's start with what I finished. So I think it was 2 nights ago, I stayed up way too late, but I finished Bunny by Mona Awad. As you can see, I did get the physical copy from my library, but I literally finished it digitally the night before I picked this up, but I did want to do a Bookstagram post with this, so I picked it up anyway, but I will return it soon. 5 stars. I had such a good time with this, and
it is confusing in terms of like, there can be a lot of theories about how do I even express this? There can be a lot of theories about how, like, why events happened, or like, did some really happen, or were they imagined, or, you know, just questions about the legitimacy of some people or events. So this book was really weird, but I really loved the writing. I was like completely invested in the story the whole time. Definitely have a lot of questions, but I wouldn't really say I'm confused. Like, I understand the plot. Like, I understand what happened. It's just there's a lot of theories and speculations you can make about like why some of the things happened that did happen, because there are a lot of weird plot points. So I'm really glad that it's confusing in that sense, and not like you finish it and you're like what even happened? It's like, I know what happened, I just don't know for sure like the reasons behind some of these things happening, or if they really did happen, or if they were imagined, or whatever. But it was so good. I really, really want to read her newest one now. How do I even summarize this? We follow Samantha, who is a graduate student in an MFA writing program, and it takes place at her college for the most part. And there's this group of girls called, well, she refers to them as bunnies, and it's a group of 4, and they refer to each other as bunny, and it kind of has this weird, like, super cliquey, almost cult-like kind of thing. Like, it starts off with, we call them bunnies because that is what they call each other. Seriously, bunny. Example, hi bunny, hi bunny. What did you do last night, bunny? I hung out with you, bunny. Remember, bunny? That's right, bunny. You hung out with me and it was the best time I ever had. Bunny, I love you. I love you, bunny. So they talk like that, and they are just, they're interesting. And our main character, Samantha, kind of gets wrapped up in some shenanigans with them. The bunnies take an interest in her and invite them to this weird like event that they host with each other called the Smut Salon, and some magical weird things start happening. That is the best explanation that I can give, but I would definitely recommend it. Honestly, I had such a good time, and I really want to get my own copy because this book is just one of those that's like, I'm dying to reread it already. Like, I feel like you can get something new out of it every time and realize new things every single time, and I'm interested to see like what things are foreshadowed that I didn't pick up on the first time. So anyway, had a lot of fun with that. So that was the book that I was reading at night before bed digitally, and then I have since moved on before bed to reading the X Hex by Aaron Sterling. I am about almost a fourth of the way through it, and it's really cute. So we follow the 2 X's, and it starts off at the beginning 9 years earlier to when they were together and they broke up for kind of a valid reason / kind of a miscommunication reason, but Vivian was really upset and hated him. Both of them are witches, by the way, and Vivian's, like, their families are witches and everything. So Vivian and her cousin like pretend to put this curse on her ex and have a feeling that the curse actually happened. So 9 years later, he's coming back in town because his family, like his ancestors, like founded the town that she lives in, and they try to go like once a year for like this annual like Founders Day thing basically. And he was the one in his family who got like told to go this year, and so they run into each other, and that's where I'm at right now. Obviously, like, I won't talk about more than that once we get past that because I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, I am really loving it so far. Right now it is definitely practical magic vibes, 100% practical magic vibes. I love that movie. wasn't that big of a fan of the book, but like that movie and this book, like they're cousins, you know? So I'm really loving it, and it's like the perfect before bed read because it's just like fun and like just the vibes. So yeah, loving that. So I am now like 65% of the way through To Haven't a Hoax by Martha Waters. I am listening to this and it is mediocre. I think right now it's like a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's not worth DNFing just because, you know, it's my passive audiobook listen. I listen in the car, I listen on walks, I listen when I clean my house, I listen when I do the dishes, I listen like when I'm in the shower. So, you know, it's not like, I don't hate it, it's just not super compelling. To me, both of the characters are not likable, and so I'm not really invested in their relationship. It finally revealed the reason why, like, what the argument that they had was about forever ago, and like why they haven't talked in 4 years, and it really wasn't like worth the wait. It's kind of a dumb reason in my opinion, and so I'm like, well, that could have been a lot juicier. I was expecting like some tea to be spilled, and it was not tea. Last but not least, just like an hour ago, I started reading Jane Eyre. I am on page 8. So I have only read 1 chapter, but so far I'm liking it. The like syntax, the writing style isn't as inaccessible as I thought it would be. I normally don't really have like problem understanding classics, but it usually does take, I don't know, 50 pages or something for my brain to kind of like shift into that style, if that makes sense. Like it kind of is more slow going at first, where I'm like, you know, getting used to reading that style of writing, but I haven't really had to adjust to this yet. It's been pretty easy going, which is great. And yeah, like I said, I have nothing to say because I've only read 8 pages, but I started it today. I am going to read more tonight probably. Overall, like minus the kind of meh audiobook, all of the books that I'm reading right now I'm really enjoying, and I really, really loved Bunny. So it's just a good time all around, you know? I have read some really good books recently. So anyway, I will check in with you later.
Editing Emma is here to finish out this vlog. As you can see, I was in the middle of Jane Eyre and the X Hex. Still am, but I will talk about those more in the reading vlog that I'm filming currently. So I really hope you enjoyed this. If you made it to the end, leave a sunset emoji in the comments. And as always, if you've read any of these, I would love to know what you thought of them. And I hope you are having a great day or night, and I will see you next time.